What's up guys, and welcome to one of my favorite all-wheel drive cars of all time. This is the 2005 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8. The Evo 8 and Evo 9 have always been, even in stock form, some of my very favorite all-wheel drive cars in terms of pure driving dynamics. But I've never driven a heavily modified one until now. The owner Eric has thrown the kitchen sink at this car. I'll put the list of mods in the video description, but the main things you need to know is that this has a built block, built head, with stock compression, an AGT 55mm turbo, and it's running on E85. Horsepower is estimated to be 520 at the wheels. This has a rebuilt 5-speed transmission with a carbon synchro, a Wavetrac LSD, and this has a shorter final drive. For suspension, we've got Öhlins by Works with Swift springs. This car has a ton of other parts, but those are the main ones you need to know. Some quality dampers, and a very, very built engine, making over double the stock horsepower at the wheels. In stock form, the 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder engine in the Evo 8 made just under 280 horsepower and a little over 280 pound-feet of torque. It weighs in the 3,200-pound range, strut front suspension, multi-link rear, hydraulic power steering, and this came with an active center differential, which could be controlled by this button here. However, Eric mentioned that this has been disabled, so it's always in one all-wheel drive setting now. So with that, let's take this for a drive. It's got this aftermarket shifter, which is much taller than the OEM shifter and also shortens the throws. And we have an Exedy clutch and the obligatory gauges here for your oil pressure, air fuel ratio, and water temp. It's a very rattly, buzzy car on the inside. These Evos were never known to be particularly refined, even in stock form. You can hear that brake squeal as well. But that wasn't the point of this car. It's all about giving you that rally car performance on the road. So let's see how this feels. Out a second gear there. And again. All right, looks like I'll need to keep it in second gear with my right hand. Oh, okay, that's some speed. There's so much turbo lag. Below 4,000 RPM, you really got to keep this thing in the upper 40% maybe of its rev range. The rev limiter is just over 7,000. Love those blow-off valve noises. I don't know if this will stay in second gear though. Oh, there it goes. Really got to hold it in. Oh wow, that's sketchy. Turbo hits, this thing just rockets forward. I think it's okay in third gear, but second gear, I gotta just manhandle it right here. It's not easy trying to turn with one hand. Oh my goodness. This car has great steering feel. This hydraulic rack has always been a highlight of this car, but wow, this thing is physical to drive. There's no AC, it's sweltering in here already, and it's not even a particularly hot day. Oh, that definitely feels like about 500 at the wheels. Surprisingly easy to drive in the corners, even with all that power. This aftermarket shifter feels really nice, very easy to use, other than the second gear popping out. Easy to heel toe. While we're stopped here, look at this. Just Evo things, I guess. Very, very grabby clutch. I gotta let it slip for much longer than the OEM clutch. I won't let it. Oh my God. What an experience. It is, I mean, I'm drenched in sweat, partly because the AC doesn't work, and partly because I'm holding the second gear in during every acceleration run. And also this car is just very physical to drive. The steering's not particularly heavy, and the handling is still quintessential Evo with just some Öhlins and some other minor suspension upgrades. The way this car turns into and out of a corner is still phenomenal. But because of that power, I'm really just holding on for dear life every time I put my right foot down. Oh wow. Every time I let off the gas, it wants to pop out of gear. Oh, I wish the brakes were a bit better. This car could definitely do with a big brake kit. Or maybe it just needs an upgraded master cylinder, I'm not sure. But that initial press of that brake pedal doesn't do much. Also, it's comical because even though these Recaro seats are pretty good, they're mounted too high, a couple of inches too high. So I feel like I'm sitting on top of the car. The steering's really light mid-corner. It doesn't load up much, but it does give plenty of feedback. Oh my gosh, this is a challenge. Driving this car hard is no joke. The all-wheel drive system is amazing. It gives me a lot of confidence mid-corner, but because of the engine, the turbo lag, this finicky transmission, I have to concentrate so hard to keep this thing on the road, and it's so unrefined. That goes without saying. This is a 20-year-old Mitsubishi based on an economy sedan. All right, one more pull. Acceleration. In first and second, the car doesn't feel that insane, but once you're in the higher gears, this thing pulls like crazy. In third gear, I even felt a pretty substantial amount of torque steer. Seems like there's quite a bit of power being sent to those front wheels with this ACD system removed. Would be interesting if we could adjust that to have more rear bias, but oh my goodness, this car's insane. Shout out to Eric for building such an insane Evo 8. What I love about this car is that from outside it's very unassuming. It just looks like kind of a beat up Evo 8. The paint's not perfect. It's clearly not a show car by any means. But when you drive it, the performance is outrageous. It might actually not be the quickest car on a canyon road, especially downhill where I have to really fight against that turbo lag. But the theater of it all, that's what makes this car so special. It's a little bit different than a stock Evo, because a stock Evo, there is a little bit of turbo lag, but overall, it's a very manageable powertrain. You can really just focus on cornering as quickly as possible, and that's what makes that car so comically fun to drive, because you just can't believe that you're sitting in a little Mitsubishi from 20 years ago, and you're going that quickly with that much confidence around every corner. With this one, it's a little bit different. The emphasis has been shifted somewhat away from the handling, and you're just focused on the powertrain, that turbo lag, managing it. I hear that the 6-speed is even more fragile than the 5-speed, but I wonder if there's a way to build this transmission up to make it handle this amount of power and work reliably and not pop out of gear. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about the Evo 8. Do you think the Evo as a tuner car platform is still the way to go in 2024? Or are you better off just buying something newer, like a Civic Type R, GR Corolla, something of that sort? Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.